Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here with me. So today's video I'm going to be talking about brushes. This is my favorite topic because I love brushes. I am going to be sharing with you guys the brushes that I think you need to add to your collection. This is a good video for those of you who are maybe still starting out and you're confused about what brushes you need to buy. And if you do have a brush collection or a small brush collection that you've started, maybe with this video you might see brushes that you think you will need to add to what you already have that will help you with your makeup application. So yeah, let's get into it. So before we even get into the brushes that I have here with me, I just wanted to explain a little bit on brushes and just give you a bit of information on them. So we have two types of brushes. We have natural hair brushes and we have synthetic hair brushes. Natural hair just refers to hairs that were sourced from animals, and synthetic is well synthetic. With synthetic, there are two types of synthetic hairs. We have nylon and we have Teflon. Teflon is the more expensive of the two because it closely mimics what natural hair brushes look like. And for nylon, they usually use those for brow products, brow brushes. So your spoolie, your angled brow brush, that is what they usually use for. That's nylon is the type of hair they usually use for those ones. And with natural hair brushes, now these tend to be a bit more expensive than synthetic hairs, and the reason for this is, well, there's a bunch of them. One would be the type of animal that was used for the brush, where the animal lives, how the hair was actually sourced, and how you get to the animal. So if you have a brush that is made from the rarest Japanese squirrel that lives in the mountains somewhere in Japan, then that brush is probably going to be really expensive because the animal is rare. Getting to the animal is quite hard, and the hairs are like supreme. Another thing that makes brushes expensive is how the brush is made. So usually handmade brushes tend to be more expensive than machine-made brushes, and they also tend to look better because machines cut very bluntly. So if you have a brush that just looks like it was chopped off, it was basically made with the machine. And handmade brushes tend to tape off really nicely. They look really good. You can tell that this is a handmade brush. So these are some of the things that you might consider when you're buying brushes. Understanding what type of hairs the brush is made from, understanding how it was made, and all of that. If you are going to maybe a MAC or whatever brand store and you're buying brushes and your brush costs a little bit, ask them what type of hair was used and all of that, so you can understand why it is that you're paying so much for your brush. So yeah, let's get into this video though. Okay, so let's get into the brushes. So here with me I've got 5 face brushes. Please do not laugh at this one. Oh my goodness, my baby's been through a lot. So I've got 5 face brushes, 3 foundation, and 2 powder related brushes. So I'm going to start off with the foundation brushes and just share with you guys why I think you need to have them in your collection. You do not need to have all 3 of them. No. It's just giving you guys brushes that sort of perform the same function but give you a different finish or result. Okay, so first up we have the oldie but a goodie, a flat foundation brush. A lot of people I know don't really fuck with these brushes anymore, but I personally love using these brushes, not just on myself but on my clients. So when I'm doing someone else's makeup, I utilize this brush a lot, but I also utilize this brush when I'm doing contouring on myself. I find that using a flat foundation brush really blends out contour, a cream contour or a liquid contour, very well. I really like them for that. But I think it's just an oldie but a goodie, and you can never go wrong if you just have like a good flat foundation brush in your kit or in your makeup collection. And then I think this might be my favorite foundation brush, a stippling brush. I love a good stippling brush or dual fiber. I think this foundation brush is perfect for blending out foundation. It gives you the most beautiful flawless finish, like this is truly one of my favorite tools to use. So you can use this obviously for your foundation, liquid or cream. You can also use this for your mineral foundations. You can use this for powder. I love using this to apply blush and highlighter as well. So it serves a great multi-purpose type of brush. So you could definitely need to add this to your collection. And then a kabuki style brush. Now I also love using these to blend out foundation. Usually if I'm going to use this, I will go in with a flat foundation brush first, especially if I'm working on someone else, and then use this one or the stippling brush over top, because again they blend foundation really nicely. I don't use a beauty blender so much to blend out foundation because I feel like it takes off a lot of product. Unless that's what I needed to do, I generally will just use a brush like this. So I think this is a great way, a great brush to add to your collection if you're looking for a good foundation brush. So these are the 3 foundation brushes that I suggest you get if you do not have them already. Top pick right here, get this one. If you really had to choose, get this one. But if you can get all 3. Okay, so with powder brushes or powder related brushes, I've got an angled brush right here, and then I've got a rounded or dome brush right here. So this brush is great for contouring, especially for those of you who are still new and you're still trying to figure out how you contour. This is a great way to get right underneath those cheekbones and help blend at the same time. This is also a great brush to use for your highlighter. It's a great brush to use for blush. Great brush to use for powder as well, especially under the eyes. It's really easy to get under there, so I would use that for that. I'd use this brush for all of these things. You can also use this to apply your foundation if you want to. Because it's so tiny, I think you could do a really great job of like concentrating your foundation in one place and then blending out with this. So yeah, get this one as well. And then this honestly is one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite brushes. Now if I had to choose between this one and this one, I'd probably go with this one. The reason I love this brush so much is that it serves exactly the same function. You can use this for powder, you can use this for blush, you can use this for highlighter, but my favorite thing to use this brush for is contouring or bronzing. Now I'm not so the way I bronze and contour is I don't really go under the cheekbones only. I tend to take my bronzer or highlights upwards, and I kind of take it, I go underneath the cheekbone and then right on top of the cheekbones, just so that it gives you that more of a natural contour as opposed to a really carved out cheek. I think it looks really beautiful that way, and this brush helps me achieve that. Now of course I do use that the same way, because if I just blend up like that, but I just prefer this one because it just kind of does one swoop, like wow. See that? Gets everywhere at the same time, so it minimizes the amount of work I have to do when I am contouring or bronzing. So I absolutely love this. Like I said, you can use this for blush, you can use this for highlighter, you can use this for contouring, you can use this for powder, and yeah, so there you go. 2 brushes that perform exactly the same function. So you can get this a brush that's similar to this or a brush that's similar to this. They're going to do the same thing, truly. It's whatever it is you're comfortable with, go with that. Okay, so eye brushes time. So these are the 6 eye brushes that I think you need to have. Now, just remember, this is a basic sort of brush collection thing. I'm not going in depth with like a huge thing. This is just for those of you who are still just trying to understand what brushes you need to add if you don't have them already. Okay, so I've got a blending brush here, a fluffy blending brush. This is my favorite brush to use for everything. I've got a pencil brush. Let me show you this one. I've got a tapered blending brush. I've got a flat eyeshadow brush. I've got an angled brow brush and a spoolie. Now, personally for me, if they said that I had to choose one eyeshadow brush and I could never have another one ever again, I would go with this one. Now this type of, because it's so full and it takes up quite a lot of room on your eye when you're applying, so like see how much room it takes up. This might be tricky for some of you in terms of blending, especially if you're still new, but I personally love this brush because it gives me one swoop. Like I can just get into this area just quickly and not have to bother too much. And I also love this brush because I use this for everything. I use this for my lid, I use this for my crease. Too bad it's too full for me to use underneath there, but if I'm really trying it, I could actually. Yeah, there you go, it works. But yeah, I personally love a nice fluffy blending brush like this. It's a great tool to have. It'll make your eye makeup application super simple, but you need to understand your own eyes, how big your eyes are, how much space you have on your lids for you to use a brush that is this full. Okay, so if you don't have a lot of eye room to work with, you can always substitute it with a tapered blending brush like this. It performs exactly the same function. It is just a bit more space sensitive, if that's a good way to put it. You can use this brush again for blending. It performs exactly the same function. Blending, you could use it to really concentrate a color onto the crease or on the outer corner. I actually really love this for the outer corner. So what I'll do is go in and place my lid or my base color with this, and then when I start adding like shadows, so if I'm going to deepen the crease, I usually go with this one because it really gets in there nicely and it blends at the same time. So this is a great brush for all of that. And then for eyeshadow on the lid, get yourself a flat eyeshadow brush. This is just great for packing color on the lid. Also great for using on your brow bone, but I generally don't use flat brushes for brow bone colors. I usually will use something fluffy because I feel like it adds a very nice natural look to the brow highlights, as opposed to just packing on eyeshadow on the brow. I don't like that look. Use a fluffy brush for that rather, but you can use this if you're light-handed. And then for blending under your lower lash line, this is a great brush for that, for adding color into your inner corners and your tear duct. You just get underneath there. Now you also use your flat eyeshadow brush to get underneath there, but this will help with blending. So this is a great blending brush. And then obviously we all need a good brow brush and a spoolie. I actually don't use these as often on myself anymore, but I still use these on other people. Well, this one specifically on other people. It's just a great way to do your brows if you have like a nice angled brush like this. You can also obviously use this for your what you call this thing, your wing liner. You can also use this for wing liner. So get you a angled liner brush, great for brows and great for wing liner. And obviously we all need a spoolie. Now this is also great for not just your brows but your lashes. So if you feel like your lashes look too clumpy because you put on too much mascara, you can just take your spoolie and just start cleaning out your lashes. Yeah, so that is basically it for this video. I tried to make it pretty quick, just showing you guys what it is that you can add to your brush collection if you're still thinking about it. These are the brushes, eye brushes here, and these are the face brushes. So all in all, there's 11 brushes. Again, you do not need to get all 11. You can get whatever it is you need or you feel will work for you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was helpful. If you guys would like for me to do a demo using these brushes just to show you guys how I use them, please let me know in the comments below, and I will get back to that. So until we see each other next time, cheerio.